Hi, it's Kevin. Welcome back to Relationship Ready. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you subscribe. I hope you share, and I hope you share topics that you would like us to talk about in conversation here at Relationship Ready. Today, we're going to talk about the struggles in relationships, and specifically struggles around cleanliness. Cleanliness is close to godliness. That is a phrase, very traditional. So if you have a clean house and a clean home, do you have a pure heart and clean relationships? Maybe if you have shared values. So we're going to look at the struggles that's very common amongst the separation of responsibilities into chores, and what's the definition of cleanliness? So let's talk about the objective versus subjective definition of cleanliness. Because cleanliness in relationship is a shared understanding and a shared agreement. Because if I think my shirt is not wrinkled and is doing okay, then is it wrinkled? It's wrinkled, objectively. But how wrinkled is too much? How dirty is too much? How cluttered is too much? That is a subjective definition that can only be reached between a shared understanding. So if you think my shirt's too wrinkled, and I agree what two is with you, we develop a shared understanding. But without that, we cannot get to a shared agreement. Because out of the shared understanding, the agreement could be, yes, it would be more helpful to iron my shirts more. Or maybe more helpful to go, I'm not really concerned about it, so you don't need to be concerned about it also. Let's agree to not have it be an issue. And we can do that with dishes, we can do that with yard work, we can do that with clean up after you get home, or when you have to clean up. Should you clean up immediately? Should you clean up once a week? Should you clean up once a day? What is cleaned? And that's all based on a shared understanding. And that's what we disagree on. And that process of figuring that out necessitates the skills in relationship of actively communicating, of negotiating, and sometimes conceding. And conceding might be, this time, I'm not going to do it, and we'll just do it your way. But next time, we're doing it my way. But is that really conceding? No, because you're expecting an expectation of it, so it is a negotiation. Conceding is just go, we'll do it your way. If you like the dishes cleaned immediately, as soon as the meal is done, and washed or put in the dishwasher, and dried and put away, and I agree to that, I am conceding to you. If I go, I think if we scrape them off and leave them in the sink, and then once a week, we'll wash the dishes. We'll do it Sunday afternoon. All the dishes. And we'll do it together. I'll wash, you'll dry. If you agree to that, you are conceding. Anything else that we don't agree with becomes a negotiation. In a negotiation, it is essential to be able to offer, receive, and give a little. Because if we don't give a little, we're not going to get much. And revisiting the tedious chores consistently is essential so that you can revisit and revitalize, because it gets old. Maybe you want to switch it up. Maybe you want to spend a week doing it your way and a week doing it my way, and see which way we like better, or see if we like something in between. There are lots of ways to negotiate. But out of those negotiations, which need to happen each time one of us is unsatisfied, to come to some mutual understanding first, and then to come to some sort of mutual agreement second. And out of that agreement, we develop a mutual contract. And it's essential to have a time frame in that contract too. we'll look at this again next week, or we'll do this for the next month, we'll do this for the next 6 months, we'll do this for the rest of our lives. Like a wedding is a contract agreed upon for the rest of your lives. But you don't have to agree upon how to do the dishes for the rest of your lives, but you do need to agree on this is how we do it until I'm unsatisfied, or for this week, and we'll try it and see if it works. And as long as it keeps working, you keep doing it. Out of those contracts become shared understandings. And out of those shared understandings and agreements comes shared standards. So if you agree with the standard that my shirt is not too wrinkly, and we contract for that and agree, understand, and develop that as our shared standard, we don't have to argue about it anymore. But if you roll your eyes when you see a shirt like this that I'm wearing, then we need to renegotiate that contract. And we do not have a shared standard. So we need to either accept that we're not going to get to a shared standard because it's not that big of an issue, and we have other bigger issues to tackle, or we need to renegotiate that contract, that agreement, and that understanding. So what do we talk about today? Cleanliness, chores, definitions of each, and the process to work through them, which is actively communicating, developing a shared understanding. Out of that comes a shared agreement, and out of that comes shared standards. This is what I can live with. This is what we can live with. This is what's not going to add stress and tension to our relationship and to our lives. We're going to spend our energy and our time on caring and loving and supporting each other and creating other opportunities and other adventures. Because that's how we create more creativity in our relationships and more enjoyment, by being able to maintain the chores and leave space for the rest of our lives and the rest of our relationships. And that's another way to become more relationship ready.